Hi, everyone. Welcome to our third year of doing this Valentine's Day special video where we hug, marry, and avoid BL characters. This year, we are joined by... I'm really bad at the... could you use some adjectives to describe this cat?
Nah, you're just all you. I do New Year, you do this one. This is
we
all
are
you.
Joined by
magnanimous
people.
Ragtag.
Why doesn't everyone just introduce themselves quite quickly? Because it is the first time we've had some of you on.
Hi, I'm Topher. Some of you may know me from being on Femmes Reacts channel when we react to things. I also have my own channel, Topher Reacts, and I do drama llama things. And I'm just, I exist gaily in the world, and I enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Yemi. I work with Drama Llama, so you'll see me around that. You might see me a lot in comment section as BL Japan Taiwan. I don't really have a channel, but you might see me around, as BL Japan Taiwan. So I'm looking forward to this. Thanks for having me.
She even did a whole video for Drama Llama about all of the BL last year. She's just being...
And she's also starred in like 17 BL series, FYI.
Right? And then also she's a star too, so...
Wow.
she plays it down, but she's in there. She in there.
Okay, yes. I extras in a couple BLs. There's that.
Hi, I'm DC. I have my channel over on Twitch, in which we do watch parties, play video games, do GLs, BLs, watch animes, do some meditation. I'm also doing a little project research for myself. It's about looking at the antecedents of the carceral system and how that has metastasized into the industrial prison complex, using various ideas and theories. And then also, I do dick and fart jokes over at Femmes React with Addison on his channel.
Kayla!
Please, right now.
Lovely to have you.
Anyway, so hi, I'm Kayla, also known as Moon Consort on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel by that name where I do BL commentary sometimes. And I also am 1/4 of Lovecast, the BL podcast. And that's it. I've been surviving.
Karan, who are you?
Who am I? I don't know. I don't even know, but we'll find out. What's up, guys? If you see me for the first time, hello. My name is Karan or Carpolina, or I'm everywhere in the internet verse. I'm KP Reacts on YouTube. I'm 1/2 of the Spot podcast. I also do Twitch, KPJ10. But you know what? I'm here for the fun times. I hope you guys are too. Nice to meet everyone who's seeing me for the first time. If you're not seeing me for the first time or seeing anyone for the first time, what's up?
And I'm Edison.
That's it.
Yes. Okay, why don't we get started with Hug, Marry, Avoid. This game is the lovely PC version of FMK, but we don't want to kill anyone unless we really want to. Then you're obviously you can express that desire, but I will not be held accountable for any of that. This year was quite hard to find some categories because there's been so many BLs. I've been trying to find, the mainstream shows that everybody knows. Let's start with the first category for Hug, Marry, Avoid. The gifts aren't gifting.
The gifts aren't gifting. It's not gifting.
The gifts aren't gifting.
I was going to say, I think I got the gist of it.
Right.
It's true.
You don't have to
the gifts help.
Any more of that?
I spent so many hours looking for gifts.
Take 2.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, yes.
This one is so easy for me. This one is so easy.
Okay, yes, let's go.
Easy for me too. Go ahead.
Marry Fadel.
Yes.
Hug Jack and avoid Jonathon.
Not Eugene.
The only reason why is an episode show.
I don't really know him. Okay.
But I am obsessed with Fadel right now. He's like my favorite BL character right now. So I am really into him. And Jack, I mean, he has the titties. Like, you have
He
to give him
does.
a hug.
He does.
You have to. But yeah, that's my reasoning. That one is super easy for me.
Twin on the screen, because that is exactly that is twin, my twin over there, my twin down in VA. That's, you know what, that is exactly Fadel. Like, I wanted to have a conversation with Lily when Fadel was crying. I just wanted to talk to her. I just want to talk to her. That's all. We ain't. And like, Fadel is just such marriage material. Jack is such hugging material. So that those I don't like.
That's it.
Too easy.
That's it. I don't. It's too easy.
It is too easy.
Can I go? First of all,
Yes.
I can say that this is probably super hard for Topher.
It is. This is the worst thing to start with.
So I am going to go with hugging Jack as well, because yes, like Kayla said, he's got the body for a hug, right? But my marry and avoid are switched.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, Fadel. I don't do the bad boy lifestyle. And Jonathon, the actor's birthday is the day after mine, so we could celebrate together for 2 days, right? And I speak Mandarin,
Oh,
so
that's some trivia.
that's good. Yeah, random trivia. Harry and Topher, how you guys doing?
You know what? Let me jump in here because let's
Go
just
ahead.
let's just make this a 3-way because I agree. Marry my boy Fadel because we're all
Yes.
It's not the 3-way. I thought you were
let's talk
talking about.
actually we're not going to talk about how Fadel is being played by the one and only Jung Chen, which is my
Exactly.
baby. If y'all didn't know, he's
Exactly.
like top BL bias right there. And then Jack, obviously, we all want the bread and then some. We want to nuzzle it. We want to be in it. We want to be in that entire bakery. And then Jonathon, I'm sorry, it just so happens that you have to be the one that's avoided. So,
Right.
process of elimination. So,
We got triplets in chat.
Topher's still in pain.
I can go while Topher's thinking, because this was my personal attack on Topher. This category is obviously people who are a little bit dangerous, but obviously very thirst trappy. I think I would marry Jonathon because personal tastes. Jonathon just seems like he has a good lifestyle, and he also offers work to his boyfriend, and having an easy income sounds lovely. And he's very gentle. He said he was very gentle, and that's also a good thing in a marriage. Jack, I would hug, and Fadel, I would avoid because I've only watched one episode of Heart Killers. I just don't see him in that light yet. I have not been converted, but episode 1, he was a bit of a downer. So
that's what I liked about him.
Right. And then his story.
I liked that he was, he's like sad and mysterious and acts like a tough guy, but really he just has all this pain inside, and it's so good. I love that he's like troubled.
Yes. And then he's just like everything that you see on the outside, and there's this other stuff and this other part of him, and he's just so soft and cuddly, and I want to protect a stone cold killer, like somebody who is able to go, oh, I want to protect. What is that?
I love that 5 of us agree, though, that we need to be hugging Jack. Like, everybody needs to hug Jack. We just all need that.
That's because he looks. You ever seen somebody you're like, oh, you need a hug? So speaking of,
Jonathon also has his photo book, which I think there's some bias in play there if you've seen it.
Right, but both Jack and Jonathon have photo books by the same guy. So there's that.
So Topher's going to have a wonderful time.
Topher,
you're right behind him.
Topher, like
it's very difficult. I'm going to preface with that. because as has been mentioned, 2 of the 3 have memorabilia living behind me at all times. And, well, Jung just doesn't have one yet. If he had one, he'd be here too. Perth is coming out. He's going to join the club, but Jung don't have one yet. So,
Yet.
But if I'm basing it on characters, I will have to agree with some people. Well, I have to agree with everyone and hug Jack. That goes without saying. But I'll have to agree with some people, and I will have to marry Fadel. Because, like, of the 3, he's the character that I've just gotten the most character anything from. The other 2 are just kind of like fun side people, which is nice. It's nice. They're lovely to look at. But Fadel has a full-fleshed story, and it's from episode 3. Batman has had me in a chokehold. Well, episode 1, but like episode 3, like the chokehold got tighter. Like he took off a belt, and it's just like that's when he started choking.
Like that chokehold? No, I'm just kidding.
Like my God. So like as a result, I have to avoid Eugene. Like it's unfortunate, but
Eugene.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Just in case no one.
I never thought I'd see the day either. But yeah, anyone asking, when watching the series, Jonathon is my brother's name, and I just cannot like sit here and be like, oh my God, Jonathon, the whole time. So he's Eugene. We named him Eugene.
I'm sorry, Turfer.
I don't think you are, but it's okay.
Let's move on. Yeah. Fighters. So these are characters who are fighters in their show. They fought for love and they fought physically. So we have Yoryak from Wandee Gooday, Jack from Jack and Joe, and Joe from My Stand-In.
I'll go ahead and say that I'm hugging Joe because Joe needs a hug. He just goes through everything. He needs a hug. More than me, he needs that hug. I don't know. This is going to be just randomish because I haven't seen all of either Wandee Gooday or Jack and Joker. So I will marry Yoryak and avoid Jack. Just completely random there. But Joe needs a hug.
I'm going to come and step in and I'm going to be a little different. And I've just got to be, I would avoid Joe because I was done with him.
Girl.
I was just like, girl. I was just done.
A decision at every corner
with Joe because it's like, just leave. I just leave. I would hug Yoryak because you was in some kind of debt and you didn't let your partner know. And we got going to be married, and all of a sudden I look up for my finances and we in debt. So
I think it's his brother.
Yeah.
It was his brother. He wanted to help him, but didn't want him.
Oh yeah, I'm still hugging him because it don't matter.
Regardless,
everybody from Wandee Gooday, I'm hugging. And I'm marrying Jack because Jack just seems like he's, oh my goodness, he wanted to open up a school for kids, and he just seems like a nice, like he what?
Kids are terrible.
Yeah,
don't you teach kids at some capacity about health?
Yes, that's why I know kids are terrible.
Yeah, so he wants to give back to community. He's great with grandma, and he's just a good person. So yeah, no, I'm marrying Jack. He seems like a very marriage type person. Besides, also Yoryak, I'm still, even if he's the brother, I'm still just hugging him because he's a fighter, and fighters need hugs after they fight. Didn't work out.
That's right. He kept saying that.
What's his prize?
Here's my reasoning. I love all these characters. I think I'm gonna avoid Yoryak just because, like, nothing against him personally. The 2 that I'm really having trouble with here are Jack and Joe, because at first I wanted to say marry Joe, but then I thought about Ming, and I think here's the thing: like, Ming is batshit crazy, but so am I, and I could fight. So
yeah,
I could deal with him if I needed to. But do I really want to is the question. I'm thinking no. So I'm going to hug Joe. And he does need that hug, absolutely. It might still piss off Ming, but I will leave right after that. And I'm going to marry Jack. Because I do like his whole... I agree that he's like very marriage material. And I like his whole thing that he has going on. And that he also has like the bad boy type thing, but also is trying to turn his life around and help his community and be more proactive in making things better, making the world a better place. I really vibe with that morally. So I think we would get along. So I'm marrying Jack.
I think it really depends on what body Joe is in, because I felt no attraction to Joe's second body.
Oh, me neither.
And so knowing that I might have to avoid Joe because I only liked Joe one. No, maybe I'll avoid Jack because I'm very curious about sneezing. Like I really, that really captivated my imagination. So I just want to experiment with that trigger. So I think I might hug Joe, avoid Jack, and then marry Yoryak because I really like sunny dispositions. And he seems like a very positive person. And we can have a happy life because now he's world champion. That means good money.
To be fully transparent, I've only seen one of these 3 series, so I can only make a decision based on what I've heard so far. But I guess I'll marry Yak because I'm again the most knowledgeable out of those 3. But from what I've heard from Joe and Jack, oh god, don't even remember what the thing is. I'll hug Joe and then avoid Jack because I guess he really needs that hug apparently. But we'll see. If and when I do get into the series, we'll update you if things change.
The thing about Joe, like I couldn't fathom, is like you're an attractive dude. Just try something else just for a little bit. Maybe you won't be so hung up on Ming. Like there's so many fish in the sea.
That was his first fish, though.
He pulled that fish straight out of Poisonous Swamp, like that.
What is your turn, Topher?
Well, I'm marrying Yoryak because, like Jason said, sunny disposition. He's a sweet character. He got his own business. He got a fine ass brother. He's world champion. Like there's just lots of just green. I see lots of green in him. I would love to avoid just everyone else personally.
Why do you hate Jack?
I don't think that's an option. So I guess I'll hug Jack, and I'm avoiding Joe. I don't feel like being sneezed in the face and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to mess around with none of that. So yeah, I'll hug Jack. He looks like he's got nice huggers, nice arms.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Our rough beginnings. Okay. So we got Dr. Thyme from 4 Minutes, Joke from Jack and Joker, and Wei Qian from Unknown.
Okay. That's easy. So I'm a marry Wei Qian. I just am. He's the only one in this group that I would even consider marrying. I just can't. I will hug Dr. Thyme because I've seen how he hugs. I've seen the way he hugs, and I would like a hug. And I guess I'm avoiding Jack and Joker. I'm only like 3-4 episodes in, so like I don't have a whole lot of frame of reference for either of them. But yeah, which is a man. Anyway, go ahead. Someone else.
I didn't watch 4 Minutes. So I don't know that character. I did watch Unknown, but I didn't really like it. So I don't remember like any of the characters. So I'm in a pickle here. Yeah. But here's what I think I'm going to do. I am going to have a lavender marriage to joke. And so my husband can have a boyfriend and I can be around both of them. And then Wei Qian, I like him. He looks cool. I'll give him a hug. Dr. Thyme, I guess I'll avoid him just by osmosis. Again, like I don't really know him, but I feel very strongly about my lavender marriage scheme. So that's what I'm going to go with.
I think I would marry Wei Qian because he is super family oriented. I suppose we could say too family oriented, but
Drop that.
he's taking care of his younger siblings since forever. So that's very nice for family space. Yeah, I guess I am hugging again, kind of by process of default. I'm going to hug Dr. Thyme and avoid Joke for no specific reason other than I need to avoid someone.
It's easy. I am going to marry Joke just because, like, I've seen all Jack and Joker and just the way he was. He's a ground character. He had some development and all that kind of good stuff. And it was, like, good. But then also, I'm marrying your boyfriend, so I might as well marry you too. So we have a triple marriage.
Exactly.
We're gonna have like brother wives or whatever you say. Sister wives or brother wives.
That's Wei Qian, DC. Oh my gosh.
But that's for Jack and Joker. I'm avoiding Wei Qian. Because he likes to take everything and take all the responsibility on his shoulder and trying to do like everything on his own and stuff like that. That would get on my nerves. That would get on my darn nerves because the reason I live alone and work, do all this stuff is because I run stuff here, and we're not bumping heads. I feel like him and we would bump too many heads and stuff like that. And so I'm just avoiding him. And by process of elimination, hugging Thyme. Like, even though Thyme was, I don't know, I'm hugging him, but for me, it's just much.
Doesn't sound like an enthusiastic hug.
It's like
Bad bitty hug. My God. Church hug, leave room for Jesus.
Right. He's just like
with the you push your pelvis back. That
right.
Poor Dr. Thyme.
We're not even we're not entertaining the innuendo hug at all.
Not entertaining nothing.
But he hugs so good.
But I'm married to Joke. I'm not
Joke will understand.
I'm married to Jack and Joker.
Joke is out here working for like the mafia or whatever. He is a doctor. Okay, Joke will understand.
But the mafia is sexier,
right? But also he was a shifty, shady doctor too. His own little,
but a doctor nonetheless. Think of the 401k plan.
It's not about money for me.
I guess
I've seen none of these shows, so I can't make a good answer for this round. So I guess just from looks alone, I guess I'll hug Dr. Thyme because I don't know why he just looks like he needs a hug.
Oh, he needs a hug.
And I guess from what I've heard, I guess I'll do a double marriage with Jack and Joker.
Sister wives, yay!
Yeah.
Hey, I'll join the party. It's fine.
Yeah.
And Wei Qian, I'm so sorry. You just have to be avoided at this point. I'm sorry. No harm, no foul. I hope.
I'll marry Wei Qian because of reasons said. But also, I just think the tension he had with his little brother, I was just like, there's so much. And then to have that release of tension, it must be so lovely. Like, it's just that to bottle things up and then to be able to express yourself freely. And obviously he's a family man. He takes care of everything. He runs a startup. He has lots of money in gaming, I assume. It lines up. I just minus the, like, that episode where we almost got shot. I can't deal with that. So, but in saying that, what should I do with Thyme? Hug Thyme if I know that there aren't any cameras in the room, and I will avoid Joke.
But if there are cameras in the room,
no.
Need some like content for the OnlyFans.
Oh.
I will support Thyme's mission of revenge though. Like I'll be there. Missed opportunities. Okay, so these are characters that I thought should have been in a BL pair and had more storyline, but they did not. And I haven't watched a lot of Perth stuff, but I feel like he deserves to be recognized.
He does. Put his lips on more men.
So we have Max from Be My Favorite, Jay from Cutie Pie, and Graham from Not Me. Karan, do you know these people? Have you watched these shows?
Yes, I do. This one I can make a good decision on. The first couple rounds, probably not, but this one I can actually make a good one.
First and foremost, I'm going to marry Max because the way that Max was in his advocacy and his wanting to do about justice and things like that, especially for queer rights and stuff like that, and also being knowledgeable, that I just don't want to hug that. I want to be around that all the time. And that is just something that just like, so, and also Max was just like, I don't know, he's just so good. Graham, Not Me, I'm gonna hug him. He needs a hug. And I'm going to avoid Jay. Even though it's Perf. And Perf is like, if you don't follow him on Twitter and stuff like that, he's fun. But like, yeah, no. A process of elimination.
Poor baby Stuart. Yummy, you look like you're in so much pain.
Hey, I actually know this one. This one is great for me. I have hugged Perf before and I'll hug him again.
Oh, go on.
That's a flex.
She's been in 18 BLs and she's hugged Perf. I would never shut up about it personally.
I've seen she's hugged a lot of people, a lot of the BL stars, but she didn't put that in the beginning either. But you know, she's oh no, I just don't do nothing in the BL. I be hugging people. That's what I be doing. Now what?
Behind the scenes.
How was the hug, Yummy? Please describe every detail.
It's a good hug. Not every detail. Oh yeah, so I'll hug Jay. Be My Favorite is actually my fave Thai show. So, and one of the things that I love about it is that like Topher was mentioning in the fighters category, right? We had like only one of the characters was it the fighters? Well, one of the characters was a main character and the others were not fighters. It was the
thirst trap.
It was the one with Jonathon.
Yeah.
Right. And the other two were side characters, so they weren't like quite, as developed. But one thing I found about Be My Favorite, like Max and Pear's characters are super developed. Mm-hmm. And so you really get a feel for them. And so I absolutely love Max and I love how much he's advocating and, and how he's so supportive of Bestie. And I would like to say in the book, he has a boyfriend. Okay. I don't know why they did that, but he has a boyfriend in the book. But anyhow, I would marry Max because he's just a really great person. And sorry to Graham, I can't remember. But yeah, sorry. I'm going to have to avoid you just because of the other two.
I'm having a mini dilemma here because whenever Not Me was airing, Graham, I was obsessed with. Like, I love Mond with that haircut specifically and that hair color specifically. I love his character. So I'm leaning towards him, but then I was like, Jay, I feel like for me is an obvious marry. But I'm afraid that our kid would look more white than Asian. And that doesn't sit right with me. I don't know if we could do the double Asian thing.
Okay,
this is a random reason, but I get it's random.
You're the greatest.
This is one thing where I'm thinking about like Jay's lifestyle also, and I find it very appealing. And by means of association, I would also be with Lian and Kua, who obviously, where's my Z and the New posters, So I think I'm still going to marry Jay. Despite my tribulations, my doubts. And I'm gonna hug Graham because I still am so obsessed with him. And I guess I'll avoid Max. Nothing personal. Just yeah. I don't know. This one is weirdly enough hard for me, but I think I'll go with that.
I will marry Max because the amount of green flags that he was showing, at least for me, whew, I want me some of that. I want all of it. Give me it. I will marry all of it. I will hug Jay because of all the things that he has done for Kua? Question mark? It's been a while since I've seen Cutie Pie and Cutie Pie 2. But everything that he's done for the both of them, especially the marriage part. Because are you really gonna ask a random person other than, to help you marry someone? Come on. And I'm sorry, Graham. Again, process of elimination, you just have to be avoided. No, nothing against you, but it is what it is. But yeah. But that was kind of, we'll see.
I'm gonna marry Max. That just goes without saying. I was actually talking about this earlier in the stream when we were watching, I think, with ThamePo. Like, literally nothing in the main couple's storyline would have gotten accomplished if it were not for Max. Like, Max drove so much of that couple's communication, resolution. Like, if Max were not there, that couple would have done nothing. Nothing would have happened with them. And I love Max. Max deserves so much more than to be a wingman on the sidelines, cheering everything on. Like, yay, go you guys, take my advice and run with it. I'm going to be over here by myself. Unless that's what he wants. If you want to be single, that's fine. Live your best single life, baby. I don't want to be single. But Max, all day, every day. I want to be very clear. If we were talking about Mont, just the actor, hard hug. Absolutely.
Yes.
So the wallpaper's peels. Yes. But if we're talking the characters themselves, it's been a while since I've watched Not Me, but I in my brain, I have some negative association with him. Were they trying to ship him with like Black's girlfriend or something, or ex-girlfriend? Was that a storyline? Yes. My brain just sticks to that. And I'm like, not that's the end of the world or anything, but I'm just like, my brain just keeps sticking to that when originally I'm like, in my head, I felt betrayed. Because I'm like, in my head, I had already shipped him and Black White. And like, they kept showing me these moments where I'm shipping him with Black White. I'm like, oh, yes. We're slumber party and taking off shirts. I'm like, oh, yes. And now we're going with his ex-girlfriend. I'm like, what? Like, I felt almost as betrayed as the fact that I never got Black Todd. Like, there's so many just missed ships in this. I have to avoid Graham. And Jay, I just love him.
Sorry, what was that?
I love him. I love him with my whole taint. I love everything about him. So I have to hug him.
Mommy, I love him.
Yes.
Yes. I definitely struggle with this one, even though I made the list.
This is how you made it.
I had like 4 days to think about this, but I did not think about it. The thing about Max I really find attractive is his hair for some reason and his teeth. His hair could change.
Good teeth.
So, but I'll marry Max, hug Graham, avoid Jay. Yeah. Just based on pure instinct. So the next category is, I don't know your name, but...
why are they being attacked so much? What the fuck? I hate this game, but I have no decision.
These are characters that we just didn't get enough of, but they have iconic status in their fandom, I'm sure. The PE teacher from The Only One, where was he? They kept having PE class without a teacher. What's he doing?
Every series has it just have class without a teacher.
I've only watched episode 1 of The Mechanic, Hercules, but I've heard enough wind of this person. So, I can see why there was talk about him. And then obviously the diva of Jack and Joker. Who is she? The disguises were so good. Like, she could have been anybody. But she had a lovely attitude.
Okay. This one's Okay. I'm going to marry my mechanic because marriage comes with hugs. So I'm going to marry the mechanic because I remember like all of them when I see them on screen, like, oh my God, they're so cute, whatever. But I remember having a very visceral reaction when this man just popped up in the background. I was like, who the fuck is this? Hold up. Rewind. Who is this? And when is he coming back to the series? Still ain't come back to the series 8 episodes later. I'm very upset. Who's
never again?
I don't know. But yes, that man, I love, like, even aside from the fact that he's fine, I love the texture of his hair. There's just something about him and this hair that I was just like, hello, hi. So yeah, I have to hug the PE coach because I mean, he's got arms to hug. Both him and Zach Lu's character, and that just the teachers just hug all day. And I guess by default, I have to avoid this Diva, even though she is fabulous. I will give her that.
I'm twinning with Topher here because on principle, I have to marry the mechanic. Apart from the body and the hair, also car trouble is just miserable, right? When something goes wrong with your car,
this is true.
I like knowing people that I can just be like, hey, my car just went, and they're like, oh, it's this, right? So on that note, I need the mechanic to be married to me. PE teachers' bodies. So yes, hug, definitely. And by default, this Diva gets avoided.
I'm going to go slightly opposite. The Diva, I know we're keeping this PG, smash, and open marriage.
Fair.
The mechanic, hug, but seeing on the side. And the PE teacher, avoid. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just a little different from everyone.
I swear to God, if this mechanic is avoided, I'm gonna be upset.
I would like to marry the PE teacher. It's just like I don't know, there's something about teachers and things like that and being good and having him has patience. Hopefully he has patience for kids and doesn't want to be around people at the end of the day. And we can hate on the world together. The mechanic, see, this is the thing. I want to hug him, but I also want to braid his hair. I want to braid your hair. I want to braid your hair. Like I want to hug him. I would, this may be just from me and whatever, but like do the old school and like just do cornrows of the text of and so, you just gotta put the comb and just and stuff like that. And I won't even do I'll do plaits. And so
I support it.
I want to play with his hair. Like I just want to do that. Actually I want to, and also you gotta moisturize it and all that kind of stuff. So by default, I just gotta avoid Jack and Joker's this Diva, this is the first time I'm avoiding someone from Jack and Joker, which I hope the sister wives don't take it personally.
More for me.
Can I just say randomly that I love that there's a very different connotation between sister wives and brother husbands, brother boyfriends. It's just like completely different things.
I'm gonna marry the PE teacher because I like his mouth.
Fair.
Just the way it looks. I'll hug the mechanic and then I'll avoid the Diva because she's trying to steal my jewelry, even though I don't have any.
Well.
Karan ran away. No.
He's watching Jack and Joker right now. He's like 10 times saved.
He's like, who is this Diva?
I will marry the PE teacher for one reason only. You're a PE teacher. You should have stamina.
You know what?
Oh my God.
But
and then I will hug the Diva because come on, all Divas need hugs every now and then. And I'm sorry, the mechanic I just have to avoid because right now it's giving Chad Danforth. I'm sorry.
All right, I took care of that. Sorry. Can't have the slander. Sorry. I couldn't have the slander.
No, it's kind of like it's giving Chad I want it. I also want it at the same time, but that's a elimination.
Chad and what?
Silence.
Sorry, what was it?
Chad Danforth High School Musical.
Oh,
That is amazing.
Corbin Blue. We look up circa 2008, 2009.
We love Corbin.
We love Corbin, but you're a little too hot for me.
Okay, we're just going to the next topic. Anyway.
Doms. Okay, we just inserted this. Ever4 from Eternal Butler. I don't know if anyone's watched it, but he is an AI android. Mizuki. Oh my god, I didn't change the name. Topher, could you change it? I'll change it. Wait, I can change it.
You can change it.
I can
You are a
change
strong,
it.
independent woman who don't need me to change your slideshow.
Well, actually, we need to switch up stuff in the world, the BL world. So Mizuki, in my day, and then just bring like Earth mix into like Game Boys.
I would watch this.
Okay, so Mizuki from My Personal Weatherman. And the captain from Heart Killers, because he was requested.
By who?
I don't know.
That one down there.
I wonder.
Karan, probably.
Poor defenseless Kern isn't even here.
Right.
I'm hugging Ever4 because I keep drooling and then I feel bad because he's playing a robot. I'm like, I'm drooling over a robot. So yeah, definitely Ever4 for the hug. I'm gonna go with Mizuki for My Personal Weatherman for marrying. Because even though it appears one way at the start, he's actually really into Yo and like working his best to keep, keep his baby fed and clothed and in-house and all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, I'm definitely marrying him. And I am going to avoid the captain because I get that he's standing up for justice, but he did promise one thing and do something completely different. So yeah, no.
I'm just going to agree with Yummy so I can get mine quickly. She made a very compelling case, and I agree with it 100%. Even though I haven't watched The Heart Killers, so I have no idea what Captain did.
He existed sexily on screen.
I think I agree. Marry Mizuki, hug the android man, and kill the captain. Or not. I wish I could kill. Honestly, that was a slip of the tongue. But I wish I could kill him. I don't like his character.
Right.
I'll avoid him in theory. Kill him in practice.
It is called The Heart Killers.
Exactly.
It would fit right in. But yeah, I agree.
I agree, but my rationale is different. And actually, no, it's the same as Kayla because twin. I really, and Harko's not over, and spoiler alert and whatever. But I really thought that the captain was also like just as bad as Lily, and I thought that, and I thought that he was going to, something was going to come up and about all this other kind of stuff because when you have a character and they as an audience, the writer makes you hate this character. You're like, okay, there's going to be some come up. There's going to be some come ups for this person. And that little secret that they have on him, I'm like, that's it.
Thank you.
I'm like, you got your kid. Like, we had the whole lady from the Family Matters, the whole thing in the U.S. Like, what? Like, really? Word? Oh, don't tell me. Like, I really don't like the captain. So if we were doing MFK, he would get a K. But I would marry Mizuki because I like, in My Personal Weatherman, it was told through one point of the story, and we see how his understanding of what was going on was totally not what it was about. And oh my goodness. So I have this thing where it's like if Japanese people could just like say what they mean and just talk and just like, because, okay, we need to just leave out all this extra stuff where talking because we know what each other means. No, if you actually like use your words, oh, you don't need to say that because everybody knows what you mean. No, this is like oh my goodness, lack of
This is a real life problem. Trust me.
Right.
This is not TV.
This is like it is Nihongo Teki. Like this is like such. So, but that was sorry, Japanese language issues. But I would marry Mizuki because he like really is like really like a really amazing person. And they say in like the year 2025 or someplace we're all going to have our own little set personal AI robots to I mean, the future is now.
I have this visual of all of us just getting fed water from Mizuki in a line. We're just waiting.
I don't know.
For the water to and he's just kind of like,
no, I'm not waiting.
He's feeding us the water from his mouth. We're all taking turns.
No, we are not.
We're all in this marriage.
No.
Okay, well, for that reason, I'm not going to marry Mizuki. I'm not a part of this marriage. I don't know. Like, part of me, like, I understand Mizuki and I kind of agree with everything. I feel like he is the best marriage material here, but I feel like I would be cheating on Ever4 if I did not marry him. So, but I also feel like I want to hug him more than I want to hug Mizuki. So it's this very weird, like, I just want everything with Ever4. And like, I'll pat Mizuki on the back, give him a handshake. Like, you did great. I'm happy for you. And,
for a hug?
Yeah. I don't know. Fit it into whatever category you need to fit it into. I want everything from Ever4. I want nothing from anybody else. But I'll give Mizuki a hug or a handshake. Hand job. I don't know. Whatever. I'll be his friend.
That's how you make friends.
Is that not how else makes friends? But yeah, the captain, I think everyone's said it at this point. He's not a great human. The actor, just like Graham all day, every day. But the character himself, yes. No. He's not the one. And I too was very upset at like anything in the world that we could have blackmailed this police officer with. We're blackmailing him. We're getting his child educated. You bribed to get your son into middle school. Send him to jail. I'm sorry. I can't have, like, really? Like, this is a fictional world. You could have come up with anything. But yeah, Captain can fuck off.
I agree with Topher. I will marry Ever4 because what he's done. Oh, gimme. Why? Why are you not real? Because robots are
real people suck,
right?
So we resorted to.
That's the future is now.
And I love it here. So Ever4 is my marriage material. Mizuki, I don't remember. Oh God, do I even remember watching My Personal Weatherman? I don't think so. So at least from what I've seen, God, this just water. Okay, I'll give you a hug after you finish drinking your water. I'll give you a hug, and then the captain is just giving side eye, like, you know those girls would be like. Like, no, I don't need any of that in my life. You can go away.
These are the precious beans. Okay, we've got Ye-chan from Love Tractor. Karan is decompressing. Po from ThamePo. And Gyuho in Love in the Big City. So these are just adorable, soft boys.
Okay.
I must say you did good with this category because I fucking hate it here.
So you have what these ones? Yeah, Karan.
I don't want to go first.
No, it's,
Okay, fine. I'll go first. I
no,
will
you
marry
don't
Paul.
have to. Oh, okay.
I will marry Paul. Especially after episode 9. If you know, you know. Oh, and then I will hug Gyuho because look at the little bean. The little bean that he was. Oh my god. I'm still so sad that they never ended up together, but I will hug this little bean. And yeah, Chan, I love you, but goddamn my process of elimination, sweetie. But give me Paul. Tam, I love you. I will, you know what? 3-way. It's fine. 3 ways. 3 ways. You mean, oh god. What is it? 3 will be free.
Please.
You know, I'm going to do the same thing. I actually haven't had time to start ThamePo, but I'm going to say Mary Poe because out of the 3, just like aesthetically, I choose him.
Very pretty.
Gyuho, yeah, definitely hug. He was the only good choice in that show. The only good choice. And I never watched Love Tractor, so I'm just going to avoid him because I don't know him.
DC, you sounded like you had some feelings.
What? I don't have. I'm always has feelings, and sometimes I take those feelings and put them in a little box, and then just put them away, and so that box gets full. A whole bunch of boxes back here. Marrying Guho because not only was he the only good one out of Love in the Big City, I think he went away and then he was going to come. I just have this idea that he was eventually going to come back. He got his like little stuff. And he's grown with that. And I just really think he did him so dirty. Like, he just did him. He just said something at the airport. And okay, anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. But I want to marry Kudo. I saw Love Tractor. I have some feelings about the way that Yeong Chang was treated by the lawyer, and like. So I want to hug him. I really do want to hug him, and I'm avoiding Poe. I know Karen is about to like get up close to me, but
I was just gonna say good more for us. That's all.
By a process of elimination, because Yeong Chan, like he just Love Tractor, like I was just like, oh, baby. I would even hug him all day, and we just hugging around the farm and stuff like that, and hugging on the tractor. And so, like, you know, I
girl watching.
I like the outdoors. I like nature and stuff like that. So that's what we're hugging.
I too am gonna hug you, Chan. I love a lovable golden retriever himbo type person. I do. I just gravitate towards them. So he is that in spades. I just him all day, every day, in both a just literal sense and the biblical sense. The other two, I'm like going back and forth with. In ThamePo, like I'm only like I just got through episode 5, 6, whatever, and like the moments with Tam and Po are so good, and I love them. But I have to sit through like 45 minutes of other shit to get there. And I'm like, it's not giving me what I need to be given. So like in my head, the series is just like, I don't remember everything from Love in the Big City, but I have a good feeling in my head related to Gyuho. Like that's all I can really go off of right now. And like I have good feelings related to Po as well, but I've not seen everything in his story yet. So I guess I'm going to marry Gyuho and avoid Po in this moment.
I'm also avoiding Poe. And not because of Poe. Because the band just feels a little bit messy and I don't want to deal with them. So, being around Poe might mean being around them. I don't want to deal with it. Just put it over there. Gyuho, I will marry. I like his energy and he was the good choice, right? And I like that he's gone off somewhere I can visit. Like I like traveling, clearly live on the other side of the world, that kind of stuff. So that works for me. And Ye-chan is just, I don't know, like you said, adorable golden retriever, but also physically the physical type that I would most like to hug. So yeah, that works for me.
Big, strong, sturdy hug.
I'll go with the consensus. Is this a consensus? Marry Gyu-ho.
No. Because Karan said he would
marry Gyu-ho. Just sweet, understanding, ambitious, wants to make a better life for us, hardworking, understanding, patient. Ye-chan hug because just seems to be a lot of room to hug. Like, just it's good to. He seems syncable. I like someone who seems syncable.
Memory foam.
Yeah. I just feel like I can plop my face in his chest and I'll just be like, so that's a nice hug. It's not very scandalous to say that, is it? When Topher was mentioning the wallpaper peeling. And I'll avoid Po.
Why am I being dragged?
I think me and DC have only watched one episode of ThamePo. And so far he seems like a bit of a wet blanket. So maybe if he progresses, I'll be more open to him. Okay, let's go to the next category. Oh, dangers to society.
Why are both
so
characters
funny.
from my standing here? That's crazy.
So Ming from My Standing, Young-soon from Love in the Big City, and Tong in My Stand-In. So we know why they're dangerous to society.
This one's easy for me. Shoot Young-soo with a gun.
Yes. Oh my god. Flashbacks.
And my controversial, my stand-in opinion was that I love Ming, so I'm gonna marry Ming. And I'm gonna have to avoid Tong because he is the main reason that all the shit went down in the show. As much as I love Mech, I have to think about it from the character perspective, and Tong was just, in my opinion, the most evil.
Wait, so are you
always
hugging
trying to
Tong?
I guess I'm gonna have to hug Tong just I guess I'm gonna have to hug him to just be like amicable, but I'll hug him and then avoid him afterwards. But yes, I'm gonna marry Ming. That's my bottom line, is that I love crazy. I am embracing toxic, and just the thought of someone being obsessed with you, like, I can't imagine it. So I would love to experience that.
Now what is that to be?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of inclined to agree. As much as it pains me to choose Ming for anything,
You're gonna marry Ming?
Lesser of two evils, I suppose. Well, because like Tong is broke. He broke now. Like at the very least, like if you're gonna be an awful person, you could at least have money. Like at least Ming still has money. And he went through this whole character arc, and he's good now, I guess. I guess I'll marry Ming. And Tong looks. Will Tong give me a good? I feel like Young-soo would give me a good hug, but I don't want to hug him. So yeah, I guess I'm hugging Tong and just avoiding Young-soo. Yeah, that feels right.
I will say I have hugged Mech, and he loves giving people hugs. So
I love how everybody's just out here hugging.
Well,
you know what? Sean was in an episode of Rainbow Prince. I hugged Sean, so I hugged actors too.
By association.
Damn, I forgot Tong was broke. Oh. I'll marry Tong because no way in hell am I gonna marry Ming. And I'll hug Young-soo because that repressed energy has to be good for something, right? So talk philosophy, jump through your mental gymnastics about your life and then let it all out in a big hug. So, and then I'll avoid Ming because no diva. No. I feel like Tong wasn't that bad. He was just an asshole, but he wasn't dangerous in the same way I would consider the other two.
This is so tough. Like, what's the least problematic choice? I think I'm going to avoid Young-soo as well as like most people. And then I'm completely torn on Ming and Tong. I am one that thinks Tong was the worst of the two. I've always thought Tong was the worst of the two. But I also love Mac, and I got to interview Mac for Drama Llama. He's an amazing person. Like, I feel like you could, once you're wise to Tong, you could kind of work with it. So I am going to marry Tong. And then, like, I don't hate Ming or whatever, but I feel like Ming is not conscious of what he does most of the time. And I feel like that's a bigger problem than Tong. Because if we change Tong's mind, he will change, right? But if there's nothing about Ming, like Ming is going to accidentally screw things up all the time. So I'm going to hug Ming because he needs a hug as well.
He does need a hug. You'll find Joe. I'm sure you will, Ming.
I don't have a good answer for this because my stand-in, I haven't really seen that one. The only one I've seen is Love in the Big City, and I know Young-soo is a big no-no, so he's a big fat avoid. Because how are you going to go through a relationship to end up writing about them in that kind of way? No, thank you. Hard pass. And then from Tong and Ming, from what I've heard, do I want to end up with someone broke or mentally unstable? Which is the lesser of two evils here? Which one do I want to deal with in my everyday life?
Spice never hurt.
You know what? Things change. I'll marry Ming for now. And then, sorry, bye, Tong, I guess. Oh no, I'll hug you. If I'll just hug you because you're broke. It's fine. It's okay. We'll get through it together. I hope you get a job.
I actually made my decision a while ago. I just wanted to be last because I'm the drama. Am I the drama? I'm the drama.
He married.
And this is going to sound really messed up. I would marry Young-soo because I want to find out. I know. Okay, so first of all, I want to find out what's in that thesis because I want to read the thesis, and then I want to
just wants to read.
I want to take my red marker, go through his methodology, all of that kind of stuff, his research method, his theory gathering, and all this. I can only do that if I'm marrying him. And I'm going to love him, and then I'm going to crush his dreams. No. So I want to read what he wrote, and so I'm marrying him. I just want to be in the house and kind of like berate him with like theory and social constructs all day and just make his life a living hell. But I guess it's more of a I can change him type thing. But I see y'all thinking like, oh, I'm gonna marry him and be no. It's hell marrying me sometimes. So
He does kind of change, right?
He does change a little bit, but I think that sounds real bad. I think he was picking from the wrong theories and wrong understanding and the wrong like inner turmoil and stuff like that. And I think that I have hope for him. I ain't got no hope for Tong. I ain't got no hope for Tong. I didn't like Tong and I didn't like Ming. I'm the only person. I still have this whole DV thing about what Ming did to Joe about being knocking him out and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, if I could avoid both of them. But I'm hugging Ming because I'm
sneeze.
I don't want him to sneeze on me.
He's not sneezing.
You're sneezing.
Oh, you're not sneezing. JC
I'm
sneezing.
not. I don't.
Oh.
No.
Ming causes a sneeze.
No. I guess I'll just hug because that's just like a quick thing and you're over with and you'll never have to see him again. And I can be like, and just avoid Tong because he needs to be avoided.
Wonderful. We can move on now to workmancers. So we have Karan from Cherry Magic Thailand, which I have not watched. Ace from My Day, and Momo from Ossan's Love Thailand, which we're watching right now and reacting to. I needed a Filipino show. This is the only one I could think of that seems to fit in.
I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings towards anyone in any direction. I guess I'd marry Karan. I like Momo. Momo's cool. I don't know that Momo is like, I'll hug him. I'll hug Momo. I'll hug Momo. Like just a good friendly hug. You know. I guess I'll avoid Ace. Yeah. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. Like none of them bring out like a strong sense of I need to avoid them, but none of them are like I need to marry them. They're all good men.
Same, for the exact same reason.
I'll go same, but I'm gonna switch up Momo and Karan. I'm gonna marry Momo. And same reasons but for different people.
Okay. Right. I take it back, sorry.
You want to fight Karan, Topher.
Right. It's just avoiding of the mechanic. It's just down from now.
It's very hurt.
You're still on it?
Very hurt. But anyway.
Marry Momo, hug Karan, and then avoid Ace because.
So, I don't know My Day because sadly I do not watch Filipino shows because my Tagalog sucks and I can't deal with languages that I don't speak at all. So I know like 3 words. For one reason or another, one of them is rainbow and I don't know why it's rainbow. But anyhow, so I'm going to go off my feelings for the other 2 shows, which also, I'm kind of judging by their Japanese versions because I'm way more familiar with those. I am avoiding Karan. And that is because that character, both in Thailand and Japan, is just too perfect. I cannot deal with that. Like, I would always feel like I am not good enough. And I would have a complex and all of that. Nope. Just, I can't deal with that. So, Momo, I would marry because he cooks. Simple. Cook my food every day. We're good. Right? Which leads me to hug Ace.
Also on the Filipino thing, Yemi, we can fix that.
Supposed to be learning Tagalog, by the way.
I'll avoid Ace and then marry. Karan cooks too, doesn't he? They all cook. Okay, so that's not a differentiator. I think I'll marry Karan because he seems to have this kink about dressing me up in pajamas. And I feel like that's very cute. Like, if you're going to have a kink, it's not an intimidating one that I have to get used to. So I think it's a very cute kink. And then also, like, Taito 1 has double Ds. That's such a bonus. So, and then he's just seems very gentle. And I'll hug Momo because I'll have to. But I'd also marry Momo if I could, because if he can be patient with such a man-child like Earth, so then he can certainly deal with me.
This is easy. So I would marry. I'm thinking of a way I can say this in a polite, churchly way. I would marry Karan. Because I saw Cherry Magic Thailand, and I mean, just in all Cherry Magic, that character is a green flag. But Karan and Cherry Magic Thailand, it was just great, grand and groovy, and I like all of that, and that's marriage material. There's no way, and HE double hockey stick that I am not hugging Ace. You don't know. I'm hugging him. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, read your Bible. Anyway. And I am avoiding Momo because at this point in time, as far as relationships and stuff like that, so I love Mix. I just couldn't deal with like some of the faces he does. He's just like dealing with Earth. So yeah, I just am avoiding him. Just Momo is kind of like, I don't know, I don't know if I find this character a little annoying. But he has a reason to be annoyed because like who he's in love with, but also it's just leave. Actually you left, but then you came back. Like just stay away. But he's still good. Can I get more than one hug with Ace though?
Of course, you can do whatever you want. This is imagination.
This is your hug.
All right, cool. So I'm
explain in detail how your hug would go.
No, I'm just saying I'm just hugging Ace maybe twice a week. 3 times on the long weekends.
What about leap years?
Leap years. Oh, I'll be leaping. Oh, wait, no. What, leap years? Leap years? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You convinced me. I'm going to hug Ace too.
But also, you had to log in for my day. You had to log in on YouTube to see that episode on my day because it was 18 plus.
Scandalous.
I don't know. I just turned 18.
Well, thank God you were able to watch it before this round.
Okay, let's go to the next word.
Oh,
dating show husband. So for this one, I think I'll just keep it to marry. So if there is a dating show contestant that you would like to marry, you may so express it. You may talk about your vows. You may talk about what you love about this dating show contestants. We're not avoiding anyone just because don't want to do any personal attacks on real people.
I like to marry P-Poi from Sparks Camp 2, specifically. He is my bundle of joy. I love him. He is precious, and he is my everything. He is my squishy, and I love him. I would love hug wasn't an option, but I'm a hug anyway. I'm a hug Pablo because reasons. Look at his Instagram. You'll find out why. Yeah.
Kayla, have you watched any of these shows?
Nope.
Kayla would also I watched
the preview that Netflix plays for The Boyfriend, but that's about it.
Okay, so I've seen the two on the ends because Taiwan and Japan, like my name. From boys, I'm going to choose one from each. From boys like boys, I would totally marry Bobo. I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued by the indigenous side of Asia. So there's that. And he's just a sweetie. So I would definitely choose him to marry from boys like boys. I would hug Eri. I don't even know why. I just feel like I would hug Eri because just fun personality or whatever. I don't know. And from the boyfriend, I think I would marry Alan. Again, maybe because he is half Brazilian. So he's got
Go on. I'm listening. You said his name is Alan?
Well, no, like I feel connected kind of to Brazil since I was there for 2 months for the Olympics. And, I really appreciate the mix of Japanese and my region's culture because Brazil is kind of similar to Barbados. And so like sometimes like when you're in full Japanese mode, it's very polite and there's a lot of things that we do. And, like sometimes he'll be like, oh, you're laughing too much. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, how do you laugh too much? Right. Well, a Brazilian would never say that. Like, so I like that. But if you're, if you're just Brazilian, then you can't really operate in a Japanese space. So I like that we have the same kind of mix of cultures. That will work for me. And Yusak, I would hug because he's a go-go dancer and has the body of a go-go dancer. Sorry. I'm easily pleased.
Out of these shows here, the one that I found most appealing was Neo from Boys Like Boys. He's creative. He's a cutie. He seems very sensitive. He seems very affectionate when he was, hanging around with the others. So he just seems like an all-round nice person. His songs are nice. I listen to them. I just feel like he's got a sense of privilege that I'd love to attach myself with.
Only one that I've really seen is Sparks Camp. I've seen both 1 and 2, but I'm going to focus on season 2. So I would theoretically marry Alan.
Okay, thanks for that.
Because if you saw the season, it's been a while, but I would hug Miggy because if I remember correctly, his experiences that he went through.
Yes,
I just want to hug him.
I'm trying to get everybody's name, but of the ones I've seen, I would marry Dai because Dai, from the boyfriend, I would marry Dai. He just seems marryable. He seems like marriage material, and just like Yumi, I would hug Yusak a lot. I would hug him a lot because he looks like he needs a hug. But I wouldn't hug him after he had that chicken shake. Oh my God. Like, what was that about? Like, what was, like, you could have, like, what is wrong with protein powders? Like, you could have just, like, oh my goodness. And then over on Boys Like Boys, it was all about, like, Itty, and he made a friend with this guy. I forgot. It was just them
That's
two.
Bubbo, right?
Bubbo.
Itty
and Bubbo. I want to hug them both. I want to be in that friendship. That was amazing. I was all about that relationship. And even though it wasn't about building a romance or anything like that, it was about building this great, strong friendship. And I think that especially if we start going to things and saying, okay, well, we're not being romantic, but we're having this deep friendship. And it's like the friend zone is not something bad. It was like something just amazing and good. I want to hug them both. And I'm like, move over. I'm going to get into your relationship, your friendship. How are we doing today? We're going to go have fun. So that'd be about the only two for me. It's a dating show, but it was all about the friendship.
I'm going to add an additional hug for Universe and Sparks Camp.
You're going to hug Universe?
Oh, me too. Actually, me too.
You see him like lately, he's like grown out his hair and he's giving me like Kokoi Game Boys era. And I'm like,
Wait, hold
I
please.
enjoy.
Yeah, next. Controversial ending.
Sorry, didn't mean to yell. Headphones. Sorry, headphone users.
So which controversial ending would we hug, marry, or avoid? We've got the ending of Last Twilight, the ending of History 3 Make Our Days Count, or the ending of 4 Minutes, each different in their own way.
We have to marry these storylines? Hug these storylines?
Yes!
All right, so I'm gonna say something very controversial.
Say it.
I am going to hug. I don't like either of those, honestly, but I'm gonna hug.
What?
Pains me.
I'm not hearing a number. I said.
I want to say hug 4 minutes, but my body won't let me say it. So I'll hug 4 minutes. I'm going to marry History 3, Make Our Days Count, and I'm going to avoid Last Twilight. I don't know. I just feel like Last Twilight was the most offensive ending for the journey I went on throughout the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story was such this beautiful story of empowerment and overcoming adversity and learning to live with this disability. And then magic time skip, Tinkerbell's fairy dust, you can see again. And I'm like, why? Like we're telling such a great story. And now it's just like, no, we're not. 4 minutes. If I had to hug something, I guess it's like Make Our Days Count. I don't like the fact that it ended that way. But from a narrative standpoint, the story they were telling, it was the best done. It was the most well done. And it's like in hindsight, it's in the fucking title of the show. Like I get it. It's in the title of the show. It slaps me in the face now, but I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So.
Topher, I agree. Last Twilight, avoid, because I also thought the end was extremely offensive, especially the final monologue that C's character has, where he talks about basically how he was like broken pretty much when he was blind, which I just didn't like the narrative that they were pushing there. So I really have to avoid that. I didn't watch 4 minutes. So I'm just gonna hug and make our days count. As like tragic and gut wrenching as that ending is, I don't like hate it as much as most people do. Like I thought that even though it was really sad that the character goes through this like really hard life and then just ends up dying, it's still like the story was good. Like I didn't think that it didn't make any sense how it ended. And like you said, Topher, like it's in the title. So yeah, I agree.
My reasoning is similar, but I'm going to end up in a different place. So Make Our Days Count is actually my second favorite history, which I know is weird, but in my defense, I have Japanese sensibilities. Okay. It's not my fault, but I'm Japan. And so I'm used to watching stuff where characters die for goodness knows what reason, or you redeem somebody to this point and then they die or something like that. So that's normal. That's like, that's Tuesday for me. But I do also feel like, especially as someone who watched it understanding Mandarin, and the Mandarin name is even more like on the nose. It's like Naiten, which means like that one day. So, from that perspective, it's like that one day that happened and then it was done kind of thing or whatever. A sad ending or somebody dying or them breaking up does not automatically make it a bad story. And like, as somebody who, we all kind of had to do lit books or whatever in school and stuff. And the classics are like that, So in a way that kind of makes it almost classical, right? Where, Romeo and Juliet, right? Tragedies, there's so many classical tragedies. So I actually like it. It's a well-told story. And I also, on that kind of note, like, I don't think that like necessarily a sad ending erases everything that has happened up until that point, right? So, it was an amazing story up until that point. And that is something that most people like agree on, even if they hate the ending. So I would marry Make Our Days Count. I am going to be probably slightly controversial and marry and hug Last Twilight. I agree completely that the ending, like if they were telling a different story where they progress towards recovery, that ending would have worked for me. But that was not the story they told. We failed recovery. And storytelling wise, life may not be like this, but storytelling and life are different, right? You don't go back to the exact same plot device or same thread that you already done, right? In stories. So the fact that we failed once, we were not supposed to go back there in my brain, right? So we were on this acceptance road, like everybody else said. And then suddenly, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to go for hope. I feel like not even just for me, but for people who deal with some kind of disability, it's like a slap. Like, you can't have hope. You're disabled. What? So the only possible narrative of hope is to undo your disability. That's a really sad narrative, especially if you think about the fact that most people will experience some kind of disability as you get older. Your hearing will go, your sight will go, your legs will go. So like, you can't live a full life. You're just sad and stay in your house and be depressed. For that reason, though, I want to give it a hug because it needs a hug. It needs a hug for not doing what it should have done. And then by default, 4 minutes gets avoided.
Yeah, I completely agree with Yemi. Like, I've really seen just Last Twilight within these 3 series. Like, we all know what happened to Make Our Days Count. Like, come on. And then, like Yemi said, just because someone died in the show doesn't make it like, oh, the story was trash. They had their moments. It's just so unfortunate that one just died. But does that make it a bad story? No, it just so happened that it ended that way. So like I said, I would, in this case, marry that ending. Last Twilight, yes, consensus, not a great narrative that they were pushing there. And I would give it a hug to be like, you could do better. You could have done better with that.
You get them next time.
You'll get them next time, hopefully, I hope. And then 4 minutes is an avoid just because.
Okay, because I agreed in the things. So I would marry History 3, make our days count. Yes, everything that's been said. I just feel like if they didn't have the ending, nobody would be talking about this show. It'd be kind of lost. I mean, it's still good, but it made impact. And then I think, other shows try and do the same thing, but it's not as evocative. Plus, the acting of Wayne in the last episode, people talk about crying. And it's more the subtleness of holding in your tears. That's what gets me instead of the wailing. So his whole acting in the last episode, it just really moved me. So even though you could say from a level it's exploitative of the narrative that we use just for impact, I was still very impacted, and shows that leave an impact are more interesting than shows that are just kind of like, hey, this is a fluffy story. So that's why I would marry History 3. I think I would hug Last Twilight because intentions are important to me. So I think they had the good intentions at the start. I'm not sure why they chose to end it like the way they did, but Oath, when he's also done He's Coming to Me, which ended in a happy way. And I just assume that it's a commercially more viable way to kind of end things is to give the audience a happy ending. And I feel like he consulted so much with the disability, with the acting. He could have done a bit more with the storyline. And so it's just, in terms of comparing it to 4 Minutes, the storyline did somewhat good. I don't know if the ending erases everything. It's just, some people might think that. I think they did good, they did bad, but the intent to do good, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. With 4 Minutes, I was kind of pissed off at the ending. That's why I'm avoiding it. For the amount of stuff that they gave us, they didn't really fulfill their promise in terms of their setup. And then also I have a really big gripe with the overall message that I interpreted, which is the main characters get the plot armor, but the side characters around them who died, who live terrible circumstantial lives, what was her name? The girl with the curly hair and the grandma, and Dome. They don't get second chances, but these two people, it just reeked of main character privilege, which I really hate. And why do these people get a second chance, whereas everybody else, it feels inconsequential? Why even talk about their narratives when there's no justice for them? So that just really irked me.
Well, I will marry History 3, make our days count. I am not traumatized by the ending, only because a couple of things, I watch Japanese movies and stuff like that. But then also, I was watching gay and lesbian Western stuff in the early 2000s and 2010s, and that was all bad. All of that. But besides eating out, it was everything else was latter days and and all of that kind of stuff. I'm used to that. But then also the main part that it also kind of rings with me is that, and I would say this, just because a relationship ends doesn't mean that it's a bad relationship. Staying in a bad relationship beyond its due date is that's a bad relationship. But then also your partner may die before you, or you die before you. It's going to that's going to end. There's some end point because we're human. Very few people die at the same time with their boo for 70 years or whatever, but it doesn't negate everything that was going on before. And I love that. I was okay, you know what? Hell, I've watched several movies with Sean Bean in it, and he's always dying, and Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Everybody was dying. So, we have a tendency to want to sanitize our stories and only leave out death, but death is a part of life. And I think that we just try and forget about that. And then all of a sudden, when we individually on a death door, it surprises us. No, it's here with us. And I think if we're more, instead of sanitizing stuff and this is going to happen, or just, I think that's I think it didn't sanitize it, and it was there, and it was good. It was a good story. It was a good ending. Picking back off what Jimmy said, and also I remember going to this panel about disability and stuff like that, and having disability access and all this other kind of stuff. And they were like, "Yeah, you being able-bodied is temporary, like because you'll eventually become like in some form we get a disability because we're just like living through life and our bodies break down and things like that." And a lot of people, and I guess they were pushing towards this like, oh yes, you should have access to disability and stuff like that, make things accessible because this affects you too, or eventually affects you too when people think that it doesn't affect them. I have this thing about watching a series from the beginning to the end. And even if I'm in the middle of a series, I won't say it's a good series until I see the end. Like I need to see how they finish the story. If it's this end of the story for me makes me go, it doesn't negate everything that happened, but it's not a perfect story. A perfect story for me is something that it gives me from the beginning to the end. And I felt some sort of way about the ending. If it could have ended in episode 10 or whatever, 11, that would have been good for me. But I think, and back to this, like I was talking about what History 3 did was it doesn't sanitize life. What I feel like Last Twilight did was it sanitized everything. Like, okay, all right, we have to have a happy ending, and this is the way we have to have the happy ending. Both of the actors were freaking amazing. I love both of the actors, and I love people who played and stuff like that. So I'm not like, oh, there's something wrong with it. Let me see. No, not at all. It's just the way that was written. It was like, oh, I went on this journey, but it doesn't really matter because everybody's magically okay. And, you know, I was broken, but now I'm made whole. I'm whole again. No. That being said, I'll hug it. I'll hug it because I hated 4 minutes more.
I just hated it so much. Like,
right. It's like I'll hug Last Twilight because it's the least offensive. Because 4 minutes, it should have been 2 minutes. That was 4 minutes. It was just. I was just like, I have a problem with time stories. Time stories often aren't done correctly. And they often like take shortcuts and then just to say, oh, okay. It didn't even try and take a shortcut to make you believe. It was just, I hated the story. I just remember watching it. I was like, is this over yet? Yay. It's only, only 8 episodes? 8 episodes? I was like, we can do stuff in 8 episodes. I was like, yay, I'm wrong. We can only do
Okay, well, let's go to the end, the last category, the MVPs. I should have called this Topher's Kryptonite. I should have called this Topher's Kryptonite.
I'm fine.
Oh.
They're not.
So
I'm fine.
We have Jack's grandma from Jack and Joker, King's Lola from Marahuyo Project, and Wandee Gooday's grandma. These are the grandmas that made an impact.
I guess I'm marrying Wandee Gooday's grandma because that's the only series of the 3 I finished. I feel like Jack's grandma needs a hug. Like just after everything that she's going through and him going to jail, I feel like she needs a hug. She needs a hug. She needs consolation. She's going through it. I don't want to avoid Lola, but by process of elimination, I guess I got to avoid somebody. But I feel like I remember her being lovely. Of course, Wandee's Good Days had that slick black bob, so you know I got to marry. Yes. Have that in my collection.
I'm going to just go in here real quick right after Topher. Wandee's Good Day, Wandee's grandma. I'm marrying her because she seems like fun. She also seems like she was like artsy back in the 70s or whatever. And she's free flowing and all this other kind of stuff. We're having a good day. I'm going to hug King's Lola because in order to hug her, I have to go to the Philippines to hug her and also chill out on the island. And also everything was there and get food. And so that's why I'm doing that. And nothing personal. It just happened to be Jack's grandma. She was cool. And she even like was all about like, she's throwing stuff and practicing. She was kung fu and stuff like that, and that was great. But your son, your grandson and his boyfriend, yeah, I'm already marrying them, so I'm gonna see you at dinner.
Right.
So I'm not even really avoiding you. It's just I'm gonna see you. When I'm gonna get your buns and stuff like that. She has a bun stall. I'm not saying buns, but she has food and stuff like that. So that's
nasty.
Oh what? No.
So I have seen 0 of these shows. But
What?
I love the energy here. So I do know that I've seen the clip of Jack and Joker's grandma kind of listening at the door. And I know that I vibe with her and that. So I'm gonna marry her. I'm gonna hug her. Judging by this caption here, I'm gonna need to marry King's Lola.
That's just one of many.
So I'm just gonna marry her and then avoid Wandee's grandma. But side note, my favorite, like just random line from a grandma is in We're Both Grooms. And she just like, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, close your ears. She's just like, look, what's wrong with being gay? I was bi, and just drops that in the middle of the wedding, and everybody just freaks out, So that's my favorite grandma, personally.
I'll marry Wandee's grandma because if she has any connections in her industry, I could use them. Seems like she has a really cushy retirement home, so I could go and use their facilities. And
She's got a doctor grandson.
Adopt her for a grandson. Oh my god, it's such a good point. I'll hug Marahuyo grandma just because she's an activist and she seems down with the kids, the LGBTQIA+. She rocks with us. And Jack and Joker's grandma, she was awesome. She's kick-ass. But I don't want grandma listening in on anything. Even the concepts, the idea, the humor, it just does not sit right with me. Grandma, you stay away.
You know what? Agree. Like, marry Wandee's grandma. I just like her style. I love her style. I think her personality, she's so funny. And of course, you would get to be around Wandee and Yoryak. There's a lot of benefits to it, I think. And then definitely hugging King's Lola because I need a Lola figure in my life. Mine is terrible. So there's a part of me that really yearns for that. So I will go to the Philippines and I will hug her. And
yes, we're going to the
and avoid Jack's grandma, even though I really did love her too. But that's just how the cookie crumbles in this case.
Ooh, this is hard because I also want to marry Wandee's grandma because of all the things that come with it. But at the same time, I also want to marry King's Lola because of like the cultural aspects that I connect with. Well, it's a given that I'm avoiding Jack's grandma, but I really can't pick between hugging Lola and grandma because which one do I want more? The connection, the cultural connection, or the other connections? I guess I value my culture a lot because, Filipino pride. So I'll go with King's Lola because I want a Lola figure like that in my life, or I do, but I need more of that. Just having that support there is important for hopefully everyone. And, Wandee's grandma, I'll hug. I'll do a long hug because I want that for a long time. I need that. I need that in my life. So that's my choices.
Wonderful. So we've come to the end of our time together for Hug, Marry, Avoid. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I hope all the choices you can live with. And I hope everyone watching, please let us know what you would have picked. Hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day. Thanks for spending it with us. If you enjoyed any one of these guests, I'll try and put links to their online presences in the description below. How should we wrap this lovely, lovely day up?
Subpoenas.
So with subpoenas. Bye,
Happy
everybody. Bye. Oh, wait, could we do that thing where we create a... We did it before with the podcast, the love heart. We don't have to.
Oh my god.
How do I do that without?
I'm so confused. Oh, here we go.
Wait, hold
I
on.
don't. Dixie, what are you doing?
This is not
Wait, hold on.
I'm not wrong way because the way I see on my screen is that I'm on the upper right hand side.
You've got to finish the heart. You're the top right.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to be.
Yes, I think that's right. Yes.
That's good.
I think this is still wrong.
What? That's because I'm seeing myself. I'm here.
Did you reverse your camera?
What? I'm gonna reverse my camera.
This is so awkward.
Connect with me and also connect with Edison. What's going on?
Oh, mirror my camera. Oh, that's why. So is okay. So my camera.
Well, that works.
good.
Lovely.
Let's see. There we go.
So good. Amazing.
Very professional.
Oh, my arm's tired.